I don't know what I have, but it's horrible. I'm just having a really hard time taking care of myself all alone, like when I'm in this state. Yeah, in this moment I'm like, I wish I could just teleport myself home.
I arrived here in the beautiful Mai Chau Valley yesterday afternoon after a 140-kilometer ride from Ninh Binh. I've gotta say, as much as I have loved traveling around with friends and being with other travelers for the past few weeks, I have really missed the solitude that comes with riding in more remote areas of Vietnam by myself. And I haven't really had that in a long time, so I don't know, something about laying in this hammock cafe alone with my Kindle and my snacks and the breeze. I'm feeling really excited for the next few weeks of my adventure by myself. As I made my way down the hazy mountain roads and into Mai Chau, the sun suddenly burst through the clouds and the landscape around me exploded with color. I cannot get over how beautiful and sunny it is. Like, I have not seen the full sun in so long, and this valley is absolutely beautiful. I'm just riding through the rice fields right now. The sun is setting behind the mountains. I'm gonna go check out this ethnic Thai village here. This area is really, really diverse. There's all of these different ethnic groups, and about like 60% of them are of Thai heritage. They all kind of migrated here, you know, years back, and yeah, I'm gonna go check out one of the villages. So I have been on the hunt for a scarf. I keep seeing people walking around with like these lovely, long, cozy looking scarves everywhere. And so I was like, next time I see a scarf, like that's my sign to get it. And the villages last night, literally all of the stores had these weavers in them, and these women were hand weaving these beautiful scarves. So I was like, this is my time. So I got this really beautiful giant scarf shawl situation. I wanted to get a neutral color just so it went with a lot, but there were all of these gorgeous patterns and vibrant colors as well. I really like it, and I already know that when I go more north, it's gonna be much chillier. So to have something like this that I can just keep warm. And the craziest part about these beautiful scarves that are hand woven, I literally was watching them do it, is I asked them how much this cost, this one giant scarf, and she said 100,000 dong, which is $4 US. So normally I would, you know, go along and bargain like they're used to, but I was like, $4, like, absolutely, I will take it. I did not even think about bargaining because that is just such a good deal. Also, this homestay is so cozy and I love my room. It's a very like traditional style room that I've read here in Mai Chau. A lot of the houses here are built on stilts and they have like these bamboo floors, and traditionally in homestays, usually there's the mattress on the floor. So that is kind of what we've got here. And then of course we have the mosquito net up here. And I think I have some termite friends going on because yeah, there's quite a pile accumulating here. But today is my full day here in Mai Chau, so I am going on a little adventure on my motorbike. There are a few waterfalls I want to check out, and just overall, this area is absolutely beautiful and the weather is so good. So I am going to take full advantage, have a little date with myself. I just realized that I am exactly halfway through my time here in Vietnam, and I've just been doing so much reflecting, especially now being by myself completely. I'm journaling nonstop. Like, this amount of my journal is how much I've journaled since I've been in Vietnam. I went through a lot last year, and I don't know, I feel like this trip is a sort of coming back to myself trip, and I really feel like being totally by myself and having this time to process everything that's happened and sort of build back trust with myself and get used to and even grow to love my own company. And yeah, just having so much time to reflect and journal, I just feel so content and more at peace than I have ever felt. Yeah, that's sort of, to me, the real purpose behind this trip. You know, not every trip is about seeing the sights, and of course I'm doing that and I'm loving that, but again, it's not like the main priority. I feel like, I don't know, I'm on my little eat, pray, love adventure at the moment.
Chào đi, hai đứa chào đi.
Where do you go?
Chào đi con.
What a sweet little family. I love stopping at these spots because it's basically just someone's house and they serve like 1 to 2 dishes, and usually it's pho, some kind of noodle soup, and maybe a banh mi. And the little girls wanted to take a picture, so I told them I wanted one also. So I found this spot on Google Maps. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It seems like a local community. There's a couple homestays, and I am looking at people that, are they in hot springs? Are there hot springs? Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I found hot springs in the middle of this beautiful place. I was not expecting this, especially on a really hot day. It is quite warm, but I wouldn't say overbearing. Probably won't stay in too long, but this is so nice and cool. There are a few other Vietnamese tourists here hanging out and having a lovely time, but other than that, I've got the place to myself. And I'm watching all these people working in the rice terraces right now. I haven't been around rice terraces, honestly, until now, because I've been south and it's mostly just rice fields, but I've today gotten my first look at the beautiful terraces. And yeah, everyone here is very hard at work. I found another waterfall. The sun was starting to set, so I began the 1-hour journey back to my homestay, which ended up being the most scenic part of today's ride. So since I've been here in Vietnam, I have been keeping track of everywhere that I've stayed, all the tips and tricks that I've kind of learned along the way, and compiled it into this massive Vietnam motorbiking guide for any of you who are considering doing a trip like this, because there has been so much planning and research that's gone into this, and I wanted to create something that had all of the information that you need in one place. I always end up using Notion for things like this because it is just my favorite all-in-one workspace. It's also the sponsor of today's video. Thank you so, so much. I've been using them for the last 5 years to plan all my trips, organize my to-do lists, scale my business, and so much more. It's kind of like my second brain at this point. Notion has thousands of these amazing customizable templates, so I decided to make my own specifically for those of you who are thinking about going on a motorbiking trip. It's 100% free and compiles all of the accommodations I stayed in on this trip, some essential motorbiking tips that I picked up along the way, and some different routes that I recommend based on how much time you have. And the best part is when you click duplicate template, you can actually input all of your own travel dates, bookings, costs, etc. into the template itself, and you can use it on the ground as like your own custom travel guide in Vietnam. I've linked it down below in the description box, and while you're there, I highly recommend checking out some of Notion's other amazing templates, especially if you're someone who really struggles to stay organized. They've really got something for everyone on this platform, whether you're looking for a workout plan, a budget tracker, a creative brief, and literally all you have to do is fill in the blanks. It makes it so easy to get started. Well, I guess I didn't do my bungees good enough. It just came undone and my water bottle fell off. That is so weird. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I gotta tie that better, I guess. What the hell? But how about this view, eh? What the heck? Honestly, as much as I am enjoying the sun and the warmth after not having it for a while, it's freaking hot and very dusty. Like, so dusty. I keep like alternating between having my jacket on and taking it off. Oh, that feels so good. Well, it's about 90 degrees and I'm on a ferry. I was not expecting this at all, but I'm pretty excited to have a free ride. Well, 5,000 dong. So basically I came from right there and we are going across this lake somewhere over there where I will continue that way. I'm gonna be honest, I am like really struggling currently on this ride. I have less than an hour, so I can do it. I know I can do it. The sun is so strong. I've reapplied sunscreen, but it's too hot to put my jacket on, so I'm probably gonna be like stupid burnt. And the wind just picked up so much, like I feel like my eardrums are gonna burst because the hood usually helps with the wind. But yeah, I'm just gonna push through for the next, it says 50 minutes. It's like 20 kilometers. Like, it's just a lot of mountain driving, so wish me luck. Well, I made it, and it was about 20 times more harrowing than expected. Yeah. I didn't film anything because I was like fully focused on riding and my GoPro died, but I basically just rode from somewhere down there like all the way up and around. I don't know if it was this mountain exactly, but it was so steep, like by far the most climbing I've ever done. I was in second gear almost the entire time, and at some points I didn't know if my bike was gonna make it up certain hills because I was literally just holding back the gas for so long. Oh my god, that was insane. I'm so tired. But I'm here. I am gonna go search for a homestay here soon. I don't have anything booked, so I just had to get an iced coffee to motivate myself. And I also need to get gas, but I might do that tomorrow. I am so ready for a shower and a nap. It's not even funny. So right outside my room, it's actually really cool. There are all of these locals. I think they must be in some kind of ethnic group or indigenous group because they're wearing very traditional looking dresses, but they have been traipsing up and down. Let me just show you this ridge. So from here, they've been going up and down all the way up there and gathering all of these branches and sticks and loading up that truck that I had to squeeze by earlier on my bike. And yeah, literally barrels, like so many branches all on their back. They're so incredibly strong. Like that is honestly one thing I've noticed here in Vietnam. The women specifically are just such badasses. It's insane. But yeah, I am like completely on the top of this mountain right now, so it's really interesting to watch just daily life go on up here. So I've been here a couple hours and I literally have not seen another guest this whole time. It seems like it's just me in this ultra romantic spot. I am just really having such a romantic trip with myself. But honestly, like, what other time in my life am I ever going to be able to do this, you know? Like, I could either be kind of sad that I'm not sharing this with someone, or I could cherish it because, like, this is so special, and just to have this all to myself feels like such a gift that I'm giving myself, you know?
Ở trên này là phải có cái nước nói này anh ạ.
This water.
Happy water.
Happy water. Phải hỏi. Và dùng hết cái vốn tiếng Anh là nước có.
Well, we are on day 2 of, I don't know what I have, but it's horrible. I don't have a fever today, which is good. Yesterday I was literally like, I could not move out of bed at all because I was so weak and I felt so awful physically. And the nausea has been so intense. And now, yeah, both nights I just no sleep, just in the bathroom. So I'm staying here a little longer than expected, but the owner and the staff have been so kind and so helpful, especially knowing that I'm here alone and it's so remote. Like, it is so remote here that I would have to ride like 7 minutes down like a really steep road just to get into town, to get food or anything. There's nothing around here, so they've been, you know, making me tea sometimes and made me noodles. Ew, the thought of food though. Ugh. Yeah, I haven't been this sick in a really, really long time. It's really rough. This was probably bound to happen, so I am gonna make liquid IV. I only have like 6 more of these, I think. This is the last immunity boosting one, the wild berry, and yeah, this is like my lifeline right now because it has so many electrolytes and so I'm expelling so much water at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna make this and try and drink it throughout the day. Use my code Crosby Grace Travels for 20% off. Oh, that's enough. Okay, bye. Okay, we're on day 3 and we're making some progress because I'm able to eat more than a couple bites of this rice and veggies that my homestay hosts made for me. Guys, this place is so wonderful. Like the fact that I am in such a remote area in the middle of nowhere and I'm able to still eat and like I can't ride anywhere because of how weak I am. So they're like really taking good care of me. Yesterday they brought me cookies, like these oat cookies that I like attempted to snack on, and today they brought me some rice and I'm just picking at it throughout the day. I'm definitely feeling better than yesterday and the day before. So every day's been gradually better. I do have to leave tomorrow. So today I'm just working on like, you know, gaining more strength and getting some calories in so I can ride to my next destination. I literally don't have a choice. They're full tomorrow and yeah, I have to like ride. I have no other choice. So thank God I'm starting to feel a little bit better. My stomach, I'm not really nauseous at all today, which is so nice. Like forgot what that felt like. So yeah, I'm just gonna eat this as much as I can and hydrate and hopefully continue to get better. Okay, so my optimism from this morning has slightly diminished. The symptoms are getting weirder and weirder, so I'm kind of just trying to figure out my game plan because I do have to leave here tomorrow. They're fully booked. And the health commune, I asked if there was like a health center, and there is. It's not on Google Maps, so they sort of show me generally, but it's 20 minutes away. It's so foggy, I can barely see the street, so like I'm not about to try to do that. The mountains here are insane. I'm super dizzy because I have nothing in me right now. So they brought me some like local medicine. I have no idea what this is, but I trust them, honestly. They have a lot of different medications here. They've been giving me stuff for fever, but this is for like severe diarrhea. So at this point, I quite literally have nothing to lose. So I'm just gonna... Ugh, that tastes horrible. Well, we'll see what that does.
I've spent the last 4 days in a rural homestay on top of a mountain range. I'm 10 minutes from the tiny mountain village of Tasua, over an hour from the nearest hospital, and nearly 5 hours from the closest major city. Looking out my window, there is nothing but a narrow dirt road and misty mountains as far as I can see. And it was starting to hit me that after battling the worst sickness of my entire life, things were not improving as fast as I had hoped. I knew I needed to get to a doctor, but I had absolutely no idea how I was going to get myself off this mountain.
I never film myself like this because I hate like crying on camera. I just sometimes I'm like, oh, it's so cringe. I'm just like starting to lose it a little bit because I'm like thinking back on the last 4 days and like I haven't eaten hardly anything, and I just realized I've only had this much water today, and it's like I'm just having a really hard time taking care of myself all alone, like when I'm in this state, and I'm getting really overwhelmed with the thought of like leaving and like having to pack and get on my bike and like ride down this really intense mountain because it was like so hard getting up, and I just feel extremely like alone and isolated in this moment because I'm just so like physically depleted, and I know there's no way I can drive like this. Like I'm standing up feels this hard. Like I just feel so weak at this point. It's one thing to be sick when you're traveling. It's happened to me many times. It always sucks, but it's another to be like so far removed from civilization, and you really like realize how nice it is to be able to, you know, order food to your house when you're sick and alone, or walk out your door and there be like a pharmacy or a grocery store or something that you can like get a snack or medicine, or, and I just, yeah, I'm just feeling like really helpless.
Just a few minutes later, one of the family members who had been taking care of me over the last few days knocked on my door and insisted I go to the local hospital an hour away for IV fluids. She had already called her friend, who loaded my motorbike into the back of his pickup truck and raced us down the mountain as the sun was starting to set. It was a Friday night, and she told me that doctors in Vietnam don't work on weekends, so I needed to go now if I had any chance of being helped. It all happened so fast, and before I knew it, I was walking through a very dark and dingy hospital where I could tell by the looks on everyone's faces that they had never seen a foreigner here before. I wish I could say that this was a good experience, that I was helped in the kind and gracious way that I had experienced up until this point in Vietnam. But that was not the case at all. So things started out pretty normal. They took me into the back and did an ultrasound and a few other tests and determined that I had severe dehydration, which wasn't much of a surprise. So they said that I would get put on an IV drip, which was the whole reason that I came. So I was really excited. And again, this is a really, really small town in very rural northern Vietnam. They don't have a lot of foreigners coming here. I didn't see one the whole time that I was there. So I was getting a lot of strange looks walking through this hospital, especially when I went to the emergency room. So everything was done on Google Translate. There was absolutely zero English. So they took me to the back. They were about to hook me up to the IV when the doctor quickly came in and pulled me and the nurse back out into his office and asked for my passport, and then asked where my friend was, who was the taxi driver. And I was like, oh no, that's not my friend, I'm here alone. And that's when things started to get a little bit weird. I didn't know what they were saying most of the time, but the doctor and a few others were kind of looking at my passport and looking at me and like laughing and saying, Trump, 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 that's your president. And I was just like, I don't like him, like, please, just, I didn't know what to do. I was super uncomfortable. I was so out of it. And there were multiple doctors that were just acting very strange. But yeah, basically after that, the doctor just looked at me and showed me Google Translate that said, you do not need an IV. We have determined that we're gonna just prescribe you electrolytes that you can drink, and that's all you need. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you just said I had severe dehydration. The nurse was literally hooking me up to the IV right now. Why is this happening? And so it was just very weird, and he would not let up. I really tried because I really needed help, and this was the whole reason I had come all the way down the mountain. But yeah, after a while, I was just like, okay, whatever. Guess I'm not getting any help. That was a pretty rough experience. I came out at about 10 p.m. It was pitch black. I had to have a doctor call me a cab because unfortunately the taxi driver who drove me there took my bungee cords, didn't leave them on my motorbike, so I couldn't attach my bags to my motorbike to drive to a hotel. So I had to leave the motorcycle there and go get it in the morning. It was a whole thing. So I made it to my hotel that night and attempted to sleep because I knew the next day I would have to figure out, you know, how the heck I was gonna get out of this town with my motorcycle. At this point, all my plans to continue north were completely thrown out the window. All I knew was that I needed to get to Hanoi as quickly as possible, which would turn out to be much harder than expected. Okay, so I'm at the bus station here in Ba Kien. They are trying to help me without speaking. Oh my god.
They're trying to help me without speaking a word of English. No one here speaks any English. I'm getting like the craziest looks walking around. I pulled out my credit card at the hotel and he like laughed at me. So that's how you know you're really remote. This town is so small that there's only like maybe 1 or 2 buses that leave here a day. So the next one isn't for like another 8 hours or so.
So this morning I walked 15 minutes back to the hospital to get my motorcycle. It didn't start. Classic. So I had to ask someone to help me start my freaking bike. So I get on the bike, it finally started. I went to the only ATM in town because I was completely out of cash. My debit card didn't work the previous 2 towns, so I went to the only ATM and lo and behold, it wouldn't accept my card. So I had no way of paying for a bus to get me to Hanoi, and I ended up having to ask a local. I was in total just like begging mode at this point. I asked a local if I could transfer him money via Wise, which is basically an app where you can transfer money to people electronically internationally. It's amazing. You need to get it if you don't have it and you travel a lot, because it saved me so many times on this trip. So I ended up transferring a random guy who was so nice 2 million dong, and he gave me that in cash.
I'm really leaning on the locals right now because it's just been one thing after another with the ATM and just everything. So come on. Okay. Okay, thank you. Come on. Okay, I have about, I think 30 minutes before we get on the shuttle. I'm feeling okay. The main thing is like, I'm just so hungry. Like I have an appetite, which is positive, but anytime I eat anything, I immediately have to go to the bathroom. And the only reason I'm not doing that constantly is because my intestines are literally empty. I'm not exaggerating at all. I think I'm just in like full survival mode right now because I have absolutely nobody to rely on in this moment but myself, even in the current physical state that I'm in. I actually feel so much better today and more just like mentally coherent. I think just because I don't have a choice and my body and my brain knows this. So I have zero room to panic or dwell on the discomfort I'm feeling. It's just, I gotta figure it out. I gotta get there. I gotta get better or get help, and then I can recover for however long I need. Okay guys, the results are in. I got my blood work done, got my ultrasound done, and the doctor is almost completely convinced that I either had E. coli or salmonella, some kind of very serious foodborne illness. I obviously have no idea what meal it was that I caught this. Could have been any number of meals. You know, I've been eating a lot of
random bowls of meat and noodle soup on the side of the road for the last couple of weeks. So it could have been anything, but I'm just happy that I am feeling so much better. My white blood count was at a very good rate. So he's saying I'm recovering very well. Everything looked normal. Besides some stuff on the ultrasound, just a lot of like fluid and inflammation in my gut. Obviously I'm still recovering. So he prescribed me some medicine that's going to help with the inflammation and just helping my gut recover faster, and some probiotics as well. So gonna take that, and just gonna be really careful with what I eat, obviously, over the next week. And I think I'm just gonna spend, I don't know, I really don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna spend at least like the next few days, maybe a week here in Hanoi, catch up on work, just recover. But I really I'm feeling very unmotivated to go on another adventure at the moment. So I'm trying not to get too stressed about the fact that my flight is in a month and I'm like extremely homesick. But I think that's normal after the week I've had. So I'm just trying to take it day by day. I'm gonna take my medicine and I'm gonna go treat myself to my first coffee in over a week because I deserve that. While my physical symptoms continued to improve with every day that passed, the pressure to decide my next move became more and more intense. I already had a flight booked out of Vietnam, but it was in a month from now, and the emotional exhaustion of the last week was catching up with me. No matter how much I rested, I just was not ready to get back on my bike and ride through the north all alone.
Hey, Funny Rabbit, how are you doing?
Hi. Yeah, I'm just, I had like a plan sort of earlier today, and I felt like pretty good about it. And I don't know if it's just like late. I am really like struggling with the idea of doing like a big adventure again. Like I really right in this moment I just really want to come home, but it feels crazy for this to be like the end. First of all, yes, I got a haircut, slightly shorter than I asked for, but I kind of like it. Guys, I have decided to go home. About 3 weeks earlier than expected. It took me about a week to come to this decision, and obviously it's a big decision, so I didn't want to make this decision hastily, especially not while I was still feeling sick. But as each day passed and I would wake up thinking about potentially getting on my bike and continuing my journey up north, I was just filled with dread. But when I thought about packing my bags and leaving Vietnam, I was filled with relief. And those two things I think I was resisting for a few days, or maybe I thought I would change my mind. But yeah, I didn't. And the second that I allowed myself to accept that I was leaving and that I was at the end of my journey here, I felt so good. And I just felt it in my body, almost like a sigh of relief. I didn't come here to necessarily see every single thing that there is to see in Vietnam. I didn't come here to prove anything to anyone. I didn't come here for any of that. I came here to push myself out of my comfort zone, do something really challenging and new by myself, and sort of deepen my trust and love for strangers and other cultures and the universe at large. And the more I reflect, the more I realize that I have gotten what I came here for, and there is no reason to force myself to stay and force myself to do, another crazy road trip through one of the most beautiful parts of the world if I don't 100% want to do that. I've really learned to hear my intuition and listen to my gut throughout this trip, and I want to continue doing that now and after this trip is over. So my intuition is telling me that this is the end of the road for now. I am choosing in this moment not to have doubt, to honor my intuition and what I know I need and during this time, and to just be so grateful for the last 2 months and everything that I have experienced and all the ways that I have grown as a person. I mean, it has just been like no other trip I've ever been on. Crosby. It has just been so spectacular. I'm blown away.
And then a mob of them came down and grabbed me and pulled me on stage.
Happy birthday to you.
That literally looks like you just jumped in a puddle of water.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it feels.
Wow.
I am just feeling so grateful. This is a really special place. I'm just really taking it all in, you know?